In the turbulent courts of medieval Europe, where power was measured by armies and loyalty was bought with gold, one extraordinary royal marriage changed the course of history and prevented what could have become a devastating bloody war. This is the dramatic story of the union between Henry VII of England and Elizabeth of York, a marriage that ended decades of civil conflict known as the Wars of the Roses. Their union did not just join two individuals, it united two bitter rival houses, the House of Lancaster and the House of York, and sealed a fragile peace that reshaped England forever. For over 30 years, England had been torn apart by violent dynastic struggles. The Red Rose of Lancaster and the White Rose of York became symbols of hatred and ambition. Brothers fought brothers, nobles betrayed their kings, and the throne changed hands through bloodshed and betrayal. By the time Henry Tudor defeated Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth Field, the country was exhausted, bankrupt, and deeply divided. Henry claimed the throne as Henry VII, but his claim was weak. Many Yorkist supporters still believed their cause was stronger, and rebellion was always just one spark away. Henry understood something powerful: swords alone could not secure his crown. He needed legitimacy. He needed unity. And most importantly, he needed to eliminate the reason for continued war. That solution came in the form of Elizabeth of York, the daughter of Edward IV and the rightful heir of the Yorkist line. By marrying Elizabeth, Henry would symbolically and politically merge the two rival claims to the throne. It was a bold and strategic decision, a masterstroke of political diplomacy disguised as romance. Their marriage in 1486 was more than a royal ceremony filled with splendor and pageantry. It was a calculated act of survival. The newly designed Tudor rose, combining the red and white roses, became a powerful symbol of unity. The people of England, weary of conflict, embraced this sign of hope. For the first time in a generation, there was a real chance at stability. But this marriage did not automatically erase distrust. There were still pretenders to the throne, such as Lambert Simnel and Perkin Warbeck, who attempted to stir rebellion by claiming royal blood. However, the visible union of Henry and Elizabeth made it much harder for enemies to argue that one side had been unfairly crushed. Instead, the message was clear: both houses now ruled together. Elizabeth played a crucial role in this peace. Though often overshadowed in history, she represented continuity and reconciliation. Her presence reassured Yorkist supporters that their bloodline had not been erased. Meanwhile, Henry worked tirelessly to strengthen royal authority, reduce the power of rebellious nobles, and restore financial stability. Together, their partnership laid the foundation for what would become the powerful Tudor dynasty. This royal alliance was not built purely on affection, though historical accounts suggest mutual respect grew over time. It was built on necessity. Without it, England might have descended into another prolonged civil war. Foreign powers like France and Spain were watching closely, ready to exploit weakness. A divided England would have invited invasion or manipulation. Instead, the marriage projected strength and continuity. The birth of their son, the future Henry VIII, further solidified the dynasty. A healthy male heir meant stability. It meant that rival claimants would find it increasingly difficult to justify rebellion. The Tudor line was secure, and with it, the fragile peace that Henry and Elizabeth had carefully constructed. Looking back, this was not just a wedding, it was a turning point. It demonstrates how diplomacy can sometimes achieve what years of warfare cannot. In a time when kings proved their worth on battlefields, Henry VII proved that strategy and symbolism could be just as powerful as swords and shields. The marriage showed that political wisdom could prevent rivers of blood from flowing again across English soil. The story of this marriage that stopped a war reminds us that history is not only shaped by battles but also by choices made behind palace doors. A single decision, to unite rather than destroy, altered the destiny of a nation. England moved from chaos toward consolidation, from civil war toward centralized monarchy, and from fragile rule toward the beginnings of a new era. In the end, the union of Henry VII and Elizabeth of York stands as one of the most significant diplomatic marriages in European history. It ended a brutal chapter of division and began the rise of the Tudor Age, an era that would later see religious transformation, exploration, and the strengthening of England as a powerful kingdom. Sometimes, the most powerful weapon is not an army but a promise. And in 1486, that promise came in the form of a royal wedding that prevented a bloody war and changed England forever.